Hello everyone, myself Prachalit NC, lecturer in physics, Kottureshwara College, Kottur. And here in my today's session, I am discussing about the Fresnel's theory of optical rotation and the expression for angle of rotation. See here, initially the Fresnel, in order to give his theory of optical rotation, he has assumed that this is based on the principle that a simple harmonic motion along a straight line is equivalent to two circular motions. Okay, in order to give his theory of optical rotation, he has assumed that a simple harmonic motion, in which that simple harmonic motion along the straight line is equivalent to the two circular motions in opposite direction and having the same frequency. Okay, and then after his assumption, he has treated this in the both cases. That is, we have already discussed, there is an optical, one is an optically active case and another one is an optically inactive case. So here initially he has considered the crystals like calcite, which is an optically inactive substances. So here, when the plane of polarized light, that is a plane polarized light, is incidenting on the calcite crystal, then it is splitted up into two circularly polarized vibration rotating in opposite direction with a same frequency, and this can be represented in this diagram. You just go through the diagram here. There is a calcite crystal and its optic axis is about an ACO. Okay, ACO. Then when the plane polarized light is made to pass through that particular an optically inactive crystal through that optical axis parallel to its optic axis, then what happens? There will be a splitting up of that plane polarized light into two circular motion. One is rotating in a left-handed direction, and another one is rotating in a right-handed direction. That is a clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Then in an optically inactive crystal, the velocity is the same for both motions. So the both vectors, that is L and L, describes an equal angle during the same interval of time. During the same interval of time, those two those two line joining between O to L and O to R are describing an equal angle in an equal interval of time. So that's what. So this is how. By this he has concluded that at any instant the resultant of OR and OL is along OCA only. So optically inactive substances does not rotate the plane of polarization. If you take the resultant of those two vectors, that is OL and OR, and the resultant of those two vectors at any instant is only along the direction OCA, as those two are rotating with the same frequency, those two are rotating with a same velocity, okay, and describing an equal angle in an equal interval of time, so that an optically inactive substance cannot rotate the plane of polarization. In the same way, he has considered an optically active substances. We know that what are the optically active substances, something, but those optical active substances are rotating the plane of polarization. Okay, so here he has considered a quartz crystal, which is a right-handed crystal. Then a plane polarized light, when enters the quartz plate along its optic axis OCA, it splits up into two circularly polarized vibration rotating in opposite direction, and those are represented by R and L. And here the R component is rotating. Here is the R component is rotating in clockwise direction, and L component, which is rotating in an anti-clockwise direction. As he has considered a right-handed substance, here there will be a faster velocity, there will be larger velocity for the R component rather than that of an L component. Okay, keep it in your mind, as he has considered an clockwise right-handed substances, in which there will be the clockwise motion will be it is faster than that of the anti-clockwise motion. Okay, so here by this he has concluded that if you take the resultant, of OR and OL, then the resultant of the vector OR, okay, the resultant of those two will be with a difference of psi by 2, with a difference of psi by 2, it indicating that the resultant of the OR and OA is that is OA dash is inclining, it is making an inclination about a psi by 2 with the original direction, as the right handed component is rotating more faster than that of the left handed component. It is making an inclination about psi by 2 with the original direction. So thus he has concluded that the optically active substances rotate the plane of polarization when the plane polarized light is passed through it. This is how a geometrical treatment is carried out by the Fresnel in order to explain whether how an optically active substances are rotating the plane of polarization and optically inactive substances are does not rotating the plane of polarization. Okay, after this, what he has done, he is arriving at the expression for an angle of rotation. By considering by conducting an analytical treatment. We have come across that he has initially considered a simple harmonic motion. Okay, he has initially considered simple harmonic motion, and here that plane polarized light is split up into two different circular motion which is having a same frequency. By considering the displacement of those waves, which are moving in the clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction, he has considered those two waves, that is x1 is equal to a cos omega t and y1 is equal to a sin omega t, which are in the clockwise direction, okay, which are clockwise circular motion. And for the anti-clockwise circular motion, he has considered x2, that is equal to, that is a horizontal component minus a cos omega t, and y2 is equal to a sin omega t. Because of these motions travel with the different velocities in an optically active substances, and hence phase difference is developed between them. When we go with the different phases of the waves, we can achieve a different velocity. If those waves are traveling with a different velocity, then there will be a different phase in between those two. Then in dextro-rotatory crystals like quartz, clockwise component travels faster than the anti-clockwise one, and so phase difference psi is introduced in the clockwise components. Thus those equations which concerned with the clockwise circular motion will becomes like this. You can see here, on emerging from the crystal, the resultant along x and y axis will be we can say, see, if you add up those two, that is x1 plus x2, then you need to apply the formula for cos a minus cos b, and you are going to get the equation 2 here, and then by applying the same thing for along the y axis, you are going to get the equation for 3. Thus the wave x and y are recombined to produce a single rectilinear motion with its plane rotated through an angle psi by 2. Here you can observe these two x and y waves, means the waves which are traveling along the direction x and y axis. There will be a developing of a phase difference of a psi by 2, which you can clearly observe by the equation 4, that is x divided by y is equal to tan of psi by 2. Then we have two different cases for a dextro-rotatory and a leo-rotatory different cases. We know for the dextro-rotatory substances, which are right-handed substances, we have a different refractive indexes for a different component, that is right-handed or left-handed, and we know that the phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into its path difference. By that expression, if we can arrive at the expression for phi, that is theta is equal to pi d divided by lambda into mu l minus mu l. Okay, then we know that is velocity is equal to n into lambda, and substituting these values in equation 5, finally you can obtain the expression, that is theta is proportional to d divided by a lambda square, that is theta is equal to is proportional to d divided by a lambda square, where d is its thickness of that particular crystal, and where the lambda is nothing but a wavelength of that particular uh, plane polarized light which is incidenting on it. Okay, then for the Leo rotatory substances also we can get the expression for that particular rotation, that is theta is proportional to d divided by a lambda square. And here this is what the Fresnel's theory of optical rotation and expression for the angle of rotation, which is very very important for your examination concern. For your examination concern, this is very important, and this is how the Fresnel has given the explanation for the an optically active the optical rotations. Okay, by considering a different optically active substances. Okay.